Hey, everybody, it's Cat Caracelo. I want to talk to you today a little bit about how I developed the beautiful new Oracle She card. Now, this is a brand new card that I created for Ignite, evoking the archetypes of midlife. But I want to tell you why she came. You can see her up on the wall behind me, why she was developed and why she is called the Oracle She. I've had a long love of classical myths. In fact, one of my first books that I can remember is Demeter and Persephone, given to me by my godmother. And it was a book that enchanted me. I've always had a strong allegiance with story. And even as a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, I would pore over the pages of books. I was born in a time when we walked to our local library and we spent time there. When I was a little kid, that's what I loved. In fact, one of the books that I loved the most growing up, when I was about 7 and I went to elementary school, we had a much bigger library and I loved the books D'Aulaire's Book of Myths. It is a fantastic books of classical Greek and Roman myths. Of course, they're related. So each of the gods and the goddesses have their Roman names and they have their Greek names. But this was a book that I took out of the library about 10 times in the course of one calendar year when I was in 2nd grade. And I loved it. I loved it. I pored over the names. I loved the family tree of the gods and the goddesses. I had my favorites. And I was informed by the pantheon of the gods and the idea of these secret worlds that lived beyond the human heart. I was intrigued by how the gods meddled, but I didn't understand that they were meddling. I do now, but at that time as a kid, I didn't really understand that they were meddling. I grew into a girl that loved drama, that loved musicals, that, was intrigued by the Greek chorus of it all. And I think that that interesting early mythic reflection informed me. So when I could, I started to travel. The first time I traveled to Europe, I was 15, and I traveled to a family and stayed with them in the UK and did a lot of earth-based adventuring. I was going into underground caves and sailing in the channel and doing some really fun and exciting things that I could do when I was 15. I don't spelunk in caves anymore, although I do travel into caves all the time in the imaginal, but I can't actually get my body through like little cave-like dwellings with headlamps, the way that I used to when I was young. Even when I was 15, I had big hips and I was, manipulating that 15-year-old body through those little channels. But I was really informed by some of these experiences. When I was 21, I went to Europe by myself for about 3-4 months and traveled on my own for the first time, saw a few friends, stayed places, but went far afield. Now, I had been to Italy, I had been to Greece, I had been to Spain, I had been to France, I had been to the UK previously, but getting on a train and just traveling alone took me to different places, took me into relationship with myself. And traveling became a love language. For a lot of us, it is. And then, I had babies and I couldn't travel for a long time. And a lot of us can't, so I became an armchair traveler, and I traveled through pages of books. I traveled in all the ways that I could. I traveled through museums. I traveled through images. I traveled to places and, made magic wherever I could. I would travel to find wonder. I would travel to meet a moment. I would travel with the soles of my feet into magic moments to connect. And so that traveling space actually is how I started to come to know the oracle that lives inside my life. It was the intuition of meeting myself in a moment that heightened my awareness. It was intuition and feeling the soul of a place that actually started to inform me about Oracle She, how I could be she, how we are she, how Oracle She is the light that lives within you. Oracle She is your soul's knowing. Oracle She is connected to all of the different ways the divine feminine lives within us, all of the ways we travel to meet that which is already inside our life. Can you resonate with that? Can you relate to that? A few years ago, I've been to several oracle sites, but I went to the temple of the Delphic Oracle, Apollo's temple in Greece, and I felt the space of how oracles were created by the gods and the goddesses, and those men and women, priests and priestesses of different religions that were seeking the wisdom of intuition and cosmic guidance. This is what we seek in depth work. This is why we are drawn to the psychospiritual, and depth, or diving deep inside our life, is where Oracle She lives, inside the heart, the soul, the third eye. This is all of the intuitive sensory systems that 3,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, in temples of every sacred site in the earth, practiced, calling in the cosmic awareness, the deep knowing that is possible, the potential of human knowing. Not the work of the priest and the priestess only, but the work of the human soul and spirit. That is Oracle She. That is who is called in from the web, from the field, from the guidance of creative. And so I think we travel all of the time. We travel in our imagery. We travel in our journey work. We travel whenever we crack open an idea that's seated in the soul. Our souls call us to journey. Our souls call us to rise. Oracle She, this new card, we get to create on it. We get to make art on it. We get to call in the energies of guides and allies to draw on this energy. What's being called in from the soul, the spirit, what's possible in this lifetime, what's possible when you travel along your path. So I wanted to share how Oracle She was birthed, that I called in this beautiful image, and she was created just for us, just for this card, living in the star field. This is where archetypes are called from: the star field, the cosmos, the collective. This is universal energy that then becomes personal when we create with it. So how do you know it? How do you claim it? How do you find it? How do you travel with it? Call in the Oracle She. Call in your own empowered, intuitive energy to create. So if you want to work with Oracle She, come to the upcoming Ignite. It is starting any minute. And if the time has passed and we've already begun, wide open to travel in, 4-month journey. You are not too late to join us. So come join us, come work and find your own Oracle She, and work with this energy of creative depth and discovery, the deep diving that brings us into the middle of our own story, in the midst of our own life, in the midlife, the midst of this moment. It's where life shines. So join us and find your Oracle She. She is me. She is me. We are mirrors of one another, and working with this divine feminine energy enlivens life and is really potent work. Can't wait to create with you.